you miss open nets in Rocket League? Don't worry, you're not alone. Even pros miss. But here's the thing. I discovered 3 key reasons why this happens, and most importantly, how you can't stop missing open nets forever. With the new season coming and RLCS being around the corner, I started grinding once so I could get back to my level after barely playing for a year. So I queued up in ranked, jumped on a game with the illusion to score absolute bangers, only to realize that I suck at open nets. My illusion of hitting a good ranking once rapidly faded away, so I started analyzing some pro gameplay to see what they were doing right and where I was missing. What I discovered is that pros also miss, actually a lot. This made me feel a bit more hopeful. I've never grinded once at all, so after 7 years of playing this game, I think it was finally time. But if I wanted to rank up, I needed to master the most fundamental element of this game mode. So I used my previous knowledge, combined with a lot of research to find out why is it so easy to miss open nets. By the end of this video, you will have a proven strategy to master open nets, including mindset tricks, positioning fixes, and practice tools. If you stop to think for a second, open nets are usually not that challenging to score mechanical wise. I mean, it's literally just pushing the ball into the net. But sometimes when I have the ball right in front of me with an empty net, my brain just tells me, don't miss this shot, but there is a problem with that. The human mind cannot comprehend the word no. Watch this short clip from Simon Sinek.
The human brain cannot comprehend the negative. You ready? Don't think of an elephant.
Do you think about the elephant? When you say don't miss this shot, your brain only hears miss this shot. So that fear of missing works against us, making the task harder than it actually is. Instead, replace your thought process with score it, and don't care if you miss it or not. Just take that pressure away. Now, what does scoring means? I mean, it's a really silly question, but it's actually interesting. If I presented you this image, where would you shoot? Probably to the left and on the lower side, right? It's easy to choose. But what about this one? Any answer is correct, so it gets a bit harder for your brain to decide the right place to shoot. You might be surprised with this one, but this thing has a name, and it's called decision fatigue. When you're presented with too many options, your brain simply gets foggy and blacks out. What I did to counter this was start aiming towards an imaginary green spot right in the center of the net every time I had an open net. I will explain this in just a second, but first let's talk about a phrase. Aim small, miss small is a common strategy in multiple sports where you will aim to a smaller target inside the one that you're presented, usually towards the middle. This guarantees that if you slightly miss the smaller one, you will still hit the big one. Now, this green spot is how I imagine that small target. This helped me to not only visualize the shot and give me some margin to slightly miss, but also helped me to get rid of the fogginess caused by decision fatigue, since I already decided where I will hit it. The third psychological explanation is related with the previous two. Open nets are so easy, they won't allow you to enter flow state. Flow state is a state of mind in which things just seem to click. But in order to get into this state, 2 things are required. The first one is that you need something challenging. But as we said, open nets are not that much, so our brain gets bored and loses focus. This is why aiming to a smaller target can actually be beneficial, since it will increase the difficulty of the shot. And the second one is your skill. If we face a challenging situation but we don't have the resources to face it, we might experience some anxiety. This is why we have to improve at open net shots. But the question is, can we do that? Open nets have 2 main aspects: the setup position and the execution itself. The better your setup is, the easier it will be to hit the ball towards the net. So to improve our setup, we need to consider 2 things. The first one is the time we have. This will determine how much we can adjust before missing that small window of time when there is nobody in the net, and how fast we should hit the ball so the defender doesn't make to save it. The second one is the adjustment, in which, if we have the time, we will try to be as aligned as possible with the ball and the net, creating this straight line. If the ball is coming from the side, wait until the ball is exactly in front of the net. You can visualize by hitting it when the camera starts to turn. If the ball is really high in the air, try going above it and then aim down to have an easier angle. Also consider that in some situations you might need a setup touch, especially when you're moving towards the side in the same way as the ball. Now, when you're actually hitting the ball, don't flip unless you are 100% convinced that you will score. This is because flipping will make you overcommit, decreasing your chances to score out of a rebound in case you miss on your first try. If you want to be confident that you will score them every single time, it's important that you practice them. I created this training pack where I recreated 30 different shots I had in my once ranked games. I also recommend you Aim Trainer by KICKOFF. This workshop has different types of shots and angles that you can try to go for. These are the exact tools that help me to stop missing open nets, and I promise that they will work for you too. Lastly, I recommend you to play more once. I know it could be frustrating, but that's only if you have the wrong goals walking into the game. If your goal is winning, that's a wrong goal. Winning is a byproduct of doing everything right. Instead, walk into the game with the goal of improving at a certain thing, and you will see how the good results will come. Now you know why open nets are so hard and exactly how to fix them. Apply these tips and you will see results fast. I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Here is another video that you might be interested in, where I specifically explain how to train shooting and how to use Aim Trainer by KICKOFF. And with anything else to say, thanks for watching and see you next time.